They were scoring, we were scoring. You think it's whoever has the ball last, and then we get 2 turnovers at the end. Happy to be on top, but it could have gone either way, but it was a lot of fun. I don't know if I'd be so happy right now if we're on the other side of it, but being the winner, it was a lot of fun. Going into the bye week now, get to enjoy it, get to sit down, eat a Thanksgiving meal for the first time in a long time and during the season, and just very happy.
That is Rams quarterback Jared Goff.
And that's the thing. Both these teams are still okay, win or lose, that after that game. So, they're both like what? So now they're 9-2 and 10-1. And it's just crazy that these two young quarterbacks, we might be able to see games like this for years to come.
It's kind of cool, too, that we get a game like this mid-season, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a playoff game.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
And I listened to the whole thing on the radio, I'll tell you that.
On the radio.
There was a lot of back and forth, yes.
Claudia Tenney gained some ground yesterday in the recount when Tioga released its numbers, maybe about 15, 16 votes somewhere. I'll get you the exact number. Haven't done the math yet, although it's math Manasseh could do right in his head.
Yeah.
So that's 16.275 votes right there.
Divided by pi.
I did enjoy the two of you going at it this morning. It's what roommates do when they've lived together for a couple of years.
Feels like that, but it's not even been a year.
Tebow.
I didn't even bring Tebow up. You just had to throw Tebow into it.
Right.
Today, so it looks like Shenango will announce its numbers today. Oneida County, I was getting word yesterday that it could have come as of yesterday, and then it didn't. And now other media reports, I believe the OD has the Board of Elections in Oneida County saying, we hope by Thanksgiving, but it could be next week. So now that's 4,200 votes. So obviously, Claudia Tenney at this point needs to win by 78 or 80% of the remaining votes, which she did not do in Tioga. That's the problem. Now, Tioga didn't have that many. They didn't have that many votes. But Shenango, which will come out today, they tell us, at least everybody's reporting they'll come out today, has about 1,500 votes. So, let's look at the path for Tenney, that it could be possible. Brindisi is up by just over 3,000 votes. So it would become a race if Claudia Tenney can win 100% of the votes in Shenango County today. And then she'll need, 60% of Oneida County. We'll see what happens.
She'll need one more.
It's a difficult path, but it's not impossible. And if it gets close, there is the chance that they could call for some sort of a recount, I guess. So, but the way it's been going is even when she wins, she's only picking up a couple dozen votes, and that's what happened in Tioga. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out today. Maybe by Thanksgiving, we'll know. Officially, maybe by Thanksgiving. Although Brindisi was one of 16 Democrats signing a letter to their Democratic colleagues yesterday saying that they will not support Nancy Pelosi. That was one of his big promises during the campaign. And if you remember, it was one of the big things in every TV commercial. He's a Pelosi puppet. He's going to vote with Nancy Pelosi. He's lying when he says he won't support her. Well, now he's put his signature to it. But some believe that she's going to make it in there anyway, because who else is there?
Right. And some of the other names I heard, I think, are also what Central New Yorkers would view as extreme candidates.
Yeah. I think Assemblyman Brindisi should just, vote in Daffy Duck, right in Daffy Duck for the speaker position.
Tanya Power, Tim Tebow would be perfect for you. You'd be happy with that. Tanya J. Power standing by. These wildfires in California are it's the worst thing I think I've ever seen from California in terms of wildfires. Tanya, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, this is absolutely horrible. I mean, the video of the devastation of this is just unbelievable. I mean, burned out cars on the side of the road, places where entire neighborhoods have just been burned. This campfire is absolutely, this is horrible. Right now, the total number of killed as of last night, 79 killed in the wildfires.
Well, the scary thing is the number of missing still.
Yes. That number, as of last night, again, has dropped to about 700. Dropped to 700. They cleared about 300 names off that list yesterday.
Wow.
It's important to note that the authorities keep saying there are probably people on this list who are safe but are unaware that they're on the list. So they have not, called to anybody in the authorities to go, hey, I'm safe, I'm okay, I shouldn't be on this list. But, 700 is where the unaccounted for list is right now.
So the president has gotten into this and has certainly received some criticism over how he blames California. It does seem that because you're talking about a rather liberal California governor, that plays a role in some of his comments. But the raking and how I mean, is that a solution? How do they? I mean, is anyone talking about how do you prevent something like this from happening again?
I've seen a lot of stuff on the raking of the forest floor, and I've never lived in California. I don't have any idea about how you would go about dealing with wildfires, or much less preventing them. My guess is the folks in California who do deal with them, if they could have prevented them by now, they probably would have.
Yeah. And they're probably better than anybody at trying to fight this. I mean, something like that were to happen here. We have had fires and forest fires, but nothing to this type of degree. I imagine if anybody knows how to put these fires out or prevent them, they do.
Yeah, I would think that if there's something they could do to keep from losing their land and their forestation and their entire communities, they probably would have put that into place by now. So yeah, it's kind of we've seen the tweets and stuff by the president about forest management, and then of course there's the pushback on how the money was cut for that. So, it's kind of been a back and forth and honestly kind of surreal to watch sometimes, honestly.
Yeah. All right. We'll keep an eye on it. Tanya, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks.
It is, it's really, it is not something that has borders of, it's not like it's hitting the poor or it's hitting the well. It's everybody. I think the movie, there were a couple movie sets that went down. Celebrities' homes, athletes' homes, and just regular people. It's really just terrible.
Am I misremembering to say that, was it over this past summer, when they had a massive wildfire in California, there was thought that we could see it in the air? We could see particles in the air here in upstate.
I think from the space station. You mean the smoke?
Yeah.
The haze,
yeah. I believe that was a story back...
Now, was that just because it's the summer, we won't see it now?
I think it all has to do with the jet stream, I would imagine. I really know nothing about that.
Carried it pretty quickly.
Yeah. But. Speaking of the weather, I will tell you that we are looking at the potential of breaking a Thanksgiving Day record. Now, the problem with Thanksgiving is it lands on different days, right? It isn't like Christmas. It's always on the 25th. So, but for this... both on Thanksgiving and on the 22nd, it looks like we are going to, at the very least, come close to breaking a record for cold. Oh. We expect temperatures to get down into the single digits overnight into Thanksgiving Day, and that would be that could very well be a record. And then I believe the record high for Thanksgiving is somewhere around 18 degrees, and we're calling for a high of 18 degrees. So we're going to be close to breaking a Thanksgiving Day record. It is going to be cold. We probably won't get out of the teens on Thanksgiving Day. It's going to be really cold, and it's early for this time of year, right?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
What else? I've been seeing the promos of the Tiger Woods Phil Mickelson SmackDown.
Come on.
Are we excited about it?
I am.
You are.
But now I'm a little bit torn. I've always been a Phil fan, but I like Tiger's resurgence. I'm a changed man on Tiger, so it'll be hard.
It'll be when is it, by the way? Do we know when it's happening?
It's coming up. Maybe it's Black Friday. I don't think it's Thanksgiving Day, or it might be this weekend. But
Is it
yeah, I
that
believe
quick?
it's
my
coming up
goodness.
this
I
weekend.
believe it's Friday. If you're
Maybe it's
hoping,
Friday, yeah.
if you're hoping for Smack Talk leading up to Friday's premier golf event, The Match, we're sorry to disappoint here this morning.
Crickets.
The contenders are keeping it classy. Here's Phil Mickelson on SportsCenter last night saying it's a win-win for him because Tiger has done so much for him and the game of golf.
There's no big final thought, no big way of getting in his head because this is really a win-win for me because if I'm able to win, I'm able to win a huge prize and it's great. But if I don't win, if Tiger wins, I feel like I've owed it to him over the course of our careers, that what he's done for me, my family, the game of golf. Nobody's benefited more from the game personally than myself. And if he were to able to somehow beat me, which I don't think will happen, but win that $9 million, I feel as though he's deserving of it. And it's my way of saying thank you. But I don't see that playing out that way, but we'll see on Friday.
Tiger responded by saying, I will rake his forest. I don't know why he said that. It's really weird.
I gotta say though, I mean, $9 million. They're talking about it like it's just throwaway bets. You know, it's just crazy to me. Yeah, if I win the $9 million, sure, that'd be awesome. If he wins it, yeah, he deserves it. Sure.
I believe it's Friday, and I believe it's pay-per-view.
It is pay-per-view.
And
it is
what is it on? Is
absolutely
it
pay-per-view.
HBO, Showtime, Netflix?
Wherever
maybe
it is,
HBO or
I'll
Showtime.
figure it out.
Discovery.
Can you look that up?
Yeah.
The cost too. I think the cost is $40, $39, something like that.
And how long? You're talking about at least with this, you're talking about a pay-per-view that's going to go about 3 hours, right?
Yeah, probably 3 or 4 hours. Right. There's no first round.
Yeah,
knockout.
it's not.
I hear
like
they're going to have like boxing
Yeah.
matches in between holes and stuff.
I
Little
don't know.
contests.
It's possible. It's possible.
You know, that's the
Some
thing.
woman could come out of the woods and hit Tiger with a golf club or something. You never know.
Bill, every time you watch a golf tournament, what happens? Let's say it's Tiger. Tiger hits a shot, and then we go to hole 16. We got a putt here, and then we got a chip
This is
shot
going to
over
be
here.
different. This is just
Two guys just walking
two.
around,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
So-
it's kind of like a playoff, which is always exciting, but that's at the end of a day. This is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's for 1 or 2 holes. This is
You're-
18 holes.
What are we going to do? You're just going to sit in front
They're
of the
going to
TV
be mic'd up probably. They're
all
going to be
day.
talking.
They will be mic'd up. You know that's going to happen.
There's going to be those side. That's the thing too. Everybody talked about like how many birdies. What's the over under on the birdie? How many birdies Phil's going to have.
This
or
only sets up
it's
the
a
only
gambler's
way
paradise.
That's exactly it. The only
Yeah.
way this is exciting is if you're betting on it.
Yeah.
And the only way you can make it exciting is you got to bet on every hole. I mean, and then
gotta
at the
commit.
end, you look at your cumulative of your total winnings. Otherwise, I don't know.
So it's going to be $19.99 and
Oh, that's not
$20
bad.
bucks. Is
$20,
not bad.
That's
and
not
it
bad.
starts at 3 p.m.
On Friday.
on Friday.
On what channel?
Well, it's through direct. I think it's just you have to go through your provider. It's not even going to
Okay.
be a specific
Oh, okay.
channel.
So it's a
It's just pay-per-view.
You'll be able to buy it on a certain channel.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you have it, and it's Friday. So most people will be off on Black Friday. You'll have done your horrid shopping in the morning, and you're out and you're eating leftovers and watching golf. Okay. A lot of people make their way into the city for the great Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, which is on Thursday.
Do you have a favorite float, Bill?
I do not. I don't really watch it.
Yeah,
it's
don't
always
really
on,
either.
though.
Yeah,
right?
Same thing. Yep.
It's on. There is a new internet challenge going around that involves the holidays. And it's a viral challenge where you have to avoid hearing the Little Drummer Boy in the month leading up to Christmas. I don't know how this whole thing works.
This is so stupid.
It is. Meaning movies, TV shows, radio stations, places that might play it. Anyone can call you out when it comes on, and there's a bunch of other rules as well. The challenge starts on Friday, and you have to make it until Christmas Eve without hearing the Little Drummer Boy. I believe you can listen as often as you want the next couple of days, but you just can't listen starting
Black Friday.
How do you unhear something?
You
there
can't.
are a lot of things in the world I'd like to unhear.
And how do you, like every other challenge is you kind of control something. You're being asked to do something with something you can control. Well, in this case, if you happen to be driving down the road listening to a radio station, they pop it on. What are you going to do? If you're scanning the dial, or if you're flipping through the channels and you want a movie pops on that's got it on.
We have a
And what do you win?
We have a 7-second delay. I believe it's the challenge of joy and happiness. I don't know what you win. We have a 7-second delay here. There are times in my life that I wish I had that freaking thing in my brain. I can be grab my ear or something. Oop, going back 7 seconds. It erases it for everyone. It never was said. You never heard what I just said.
Is there a 7-year one? No, I'm kidding.
That bad, huh?
No.
Last night, Bobby Bones. Does anybody watch Dancing with the Stars?
Not if I can help
Davey,
it.
are you a big Dancing with the Stars? Who's Bobby Bones?
He's a radio personality.
Oh,
He's a country DJ.
Country DJ.
Well, I don't watch Dancing.
Don't
with
make
Stars.
excuses. Don't make excuses. I'm sure you do.
Okay.
Anyway, Bobby Bones took home the mirror ball last night on season 27 of Dancing with the Stars. And here's a little recap of. Anyway, that was Dancing with the Stars last night. The winner has been crowned. So there you have it.
Thank God.
What else do I have? It's kind of interesting here this morning. The viral challenge. Nobody likes that. Somebody found an Android app named Call from Santa Claus that looks like it's a fun way for kids to talk with Santa. But when you open it, an evil voice says, "Hello there. Can you hear me? In 5 nights, if you're free, I'll look for you and I'll find you. I will kill you." Which is basically a Liam Neeson line from the movie Taken.
Right.
Looks like
okay.
the app has been taken down, but not before we have had this.
Can I have something else for Christmas?
I wanted to say that a couple times in my life.
I have to tell you, without the dramatic music, he's much less intimidating.
Yeah, you're right. That's
Just play
true.
that without that, and you're like, this is some old guy on the phone threatening to kill people.
Oh, these bloggers drive me nuts. Some of these people, they're, I do this blog and I do that. I'm a specialist. Just because I can blog, it seems. There's no degree. They don't have any, but they're all out there blogging as experts.
Yeah, it's my cake blog.
A mommy blogger in Georgia named Katie Bauer is now being criticized for complaining that photos of her 6-year-old son did not get as many likes as her other kids.
Wait.
So she puts up pictures of her kids,
Okay.
and then people like it. Mm-hmm. Well, now she put up a picture of one of her kids that didn't get as many likes as her others, and she's calling people out on it.
Okay.
Like, this is going to hurt this is going to hurt my son's confidence.
Does he have a Facebook where he can see how many people liked him as opposed to his siblings?
What are you putting your kids up on there for anyway? That's the thing. I mean, especially this is a blog where everybody gets to see it. Katie eventually deleted the post and put up a tearful apology video.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. This woman's got a blog going on in her head. Let me tell you. Listen to this.
There's a lot of people who thought that I needed him to be liked. No, I don't. I like him. I like it. Nothing's going to change that. He's just awesome. All my kids are. But
This is what the internet has created. And we complain about T-ball. We complain about the kids who play T-ball. It's not their fault. It's people like this.
Smart, y'all. Kids know there's likes on photos. And it's very human nature to compare. And so for me, my personal growth journey is teaching my kids that it doesn't matter.
Okay, all right. Well, you're doing a great job of setting an example for them. By the way, I saw the pictures. The kid that didn't get the likes, he's ugly. Okay?
Yeah,
I'm just going to
let's
let you
face
know.
it.
He's not as cute as those other two. My apologies.
So you can hear the real pain in her voice.
She is pain.
You
Yeah.
can hear the real psychosis in her
She
voice.
thinks she's suburban mom with this real grave challenge in front of her.
Oh, yeah. And like she's going to put this video up. And people all the way across the country on a radio show somewhere in the Northeast are going to play her audio.
I know.
Like, are you? What do you think? I mean, how high do you think you are? Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. Stefan is on the line here this morning, bright and early. Good morning, Stefan.
Good morning, Bill, and have a happy Thanksgiving, Bill, Jeff, and Andrew, and Davey, and hope your Thanksgiving is well.
Thank you very much, Stefan.
Thank you, Stefan.
And you too. Where are you going this year for Thanksgiving?
Well, I'm going down to Maryland to my mom's and to see family.
Let me guess.
And I'm taking a train
I was going to
down.
say, I bet you're going to take a train.
Smart.
Yes.
Yeah. And that'll be a nice trip. Are you at the train station now?
No, I'm going to be there in a little while, and I'll be heading out.
All right. Well, have a safe trip and happy Thanksgiving. Eat a lot and enjoy your time with your family.
Well, thank you, Bill.
All right. Have a good day, Stefan. We'll talk to you when you get back. Bye-bye for now.
Okay, he's gone. You have a great...
He normally does say bye-bye.
Thanksgiving.
By the way, Michael says the next big golf, it's already out apparently. This thing is already
In the
between
works.
Tiger Woods and Mickelson's already so successful. The next golfing pay-per-view that's coming out is going to be one you're going to want to see. It's Tim Tebow playing golf against Satan. That'll be awesome.
Man. Watch out there, Satan.
And
Watch out there, BLs.
And let's see, he says, I'm also glad to see Stefan is not going to be spending Thanksgiving at OCJ or at the Keeler house. So you're absolutely right. He is on the straight and narrow and on his way to visit family.
Straight and narrow train tracks.
Pretty awesome. Okay, hold on. We're going to talk to Gabby Cabby, Peter Franklin in New York City for the big holiday week that is underway in the Big Apple. It's 6:49. We'll do it when we come back at WIBX. Tuesday leading up to Thanksgiving and the busiest travel day of the year, which is really, really annoying for one Peter Franklin because all these people from upstate try to come down and drive through his city. Good morning, Peter Franklin. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, live from the beautiful, nippy streets of New York where we're already celebrating Christmas. Christmas? Yeah, I guess we are.
You know, I remember, boy, my boys were probably about 3 years old, maybe 3 or 4 years old, and we came down to the city, and I remember it was like, it had to be like the first week in December. It was right after Thanksgiving, and 75 degrees. It was just gorgeous. You will not be enjoying that warmth on Thanksgiving Day, I believe. It's going to be cold.
No, probably not, but I still wouldn't start throwing away air conditioners. You know, it's a never-ending battle when you're in an apartment house in New York City. Should you pick one that has central air conditioning, which is turned on and off by the management, or should you have a window unit? And lots of times people say, the window units are so ugly. Yeah, but, you know, comes Thanksgiving, well, maybe not this Thanksgiving, but another Thanksgiving and it's warm, it's very nice to have air conditioning.
I have to tell you,
did you buy anything
right.
from Amazon today?
Why is today a big day? Amazon?
Well, no, but I mean the big topic of conversation
in
this cute little town of mine is the fact that Mr. Cuomo gave them, I don't know, what's $1 billion or $2 billion or something to settle, and supposedly they're going to put 25,000 people to work in Queens. Most of us are walking around scratching our heads trying to figure out where they're going to get that 25,000 from, because although there are economic problems in the country, in New York City right now, just about anybody who wants can have a job.
I got to tell you that that place should have gone upstate, where we would have been doing cartwheels in the streets.
Yeah.
Because think about it, Peter, commerce and jobs and progress. It's something we don't even, it doesn't even exist upstate, for God's sakes. And then they put this thing down just near New York City, and everybody's complaining about it. And I get it.
And it's become the big political fight, too, because, you know, if you're leaning towards socialism and communism and the new liberalism, you figure, why do you have to give those guys so much money? But the problem about Amazon, and they're so easy to hate, they are so unbelievably efficient and good.
This Ocasio-Cortez,
she's
got to
ringleader.
shut up. She's just got to sit down. I mean, she's a freshman now. I mean, she's acting like she's been around forever. Give me a break.
She's campaigning for speaker.
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
I am, too, by the way.
So, so you agree. It's like, and by the way, they didn't give him $1.5 billion. It's tax breaks. But that will come back. The concept is that, and I know people complain because they call it corporate welfare. We hear about it up here all the time. But the concept is that through business and commerce, that money will come back tenfold to the area around Long Island, or where is it exactly? It's
in Queens.
Queens.
It's in Queens.
Okay.
You'll be in Queens someplace. And also, it's in an area that's really somewhat depressed area. And they had the New York Times had a nasty remark about it, said that the people in that area, the only connection they have with UPS, FedEx, and Amazon is that's where their packages get stolen. And that was kind of nasty, I thought, at the Times to say that.
It's very interesting when driving. I'll come down the Hudson Parkway, and when you look along to the side, I believe if I'm coming down to the left of me is Queens, right? In that area, it kind of goes through Queens, and you see the houses, and it kind of looks like upstate New York when you see Queens.
Well, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Once you get out of Manhattan, it's very residential. It really is, especially Queens. Queens, they don't like it. Don't tell them I said so, but it's sort of like the bedroom community in many ways. But they're going to have the problem, going back to my original point, is that I know in these times when people desperately want jobs and employment, you have a situation in New York City where it's possible you may not get the job that you want that is commensurate with your skills, but it's almost impossible to be unemployed in New York City right now, because there are. So to put in another 25,000, and they're all going to turn out to be yuppies who don't tip in the cab, but I'll have to live with that.
I am hearing, we think about New York City during the holidays. You think of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, the movies that have been done around Macy's and around New York City, and that the movies done around FAO Schwartz. And FAO Schwartz, which I think became is the Apple Store is over there now. But I'm hearing that FAO Schwartz is making a comeback in New York City.
Yeah, it is. New owners. I mean, because the name is, it's like certain things, no matter who has them, they can be turned into gold. I mean, like Tavern on the Green, which is a restaurant in Central Park. It comes in business, goes out of business.
Yeah.
FAO Schwartz has been the same thing. The problem with FAO Schwartz was, and maybe it's going to be with the new one, is that it is so spectacular that it's a great place to go to look.
I know. Yeah.
And that's the problem right there. You'll get long lines around FAO Schwartz, and they'll have it this Christmas season. But the question is, are these people going to buy this stuff from FAO Schwartz or turn around and get it from Amazon?
That is an issue. You kind of see what you want when you walk through FAO Schwartz and you buy it somewhere else. But it is an awesome place to go, Manaski. Your kid. And it has areas where your kids can just play, and I mean, it's really spectacular. I'm assuming this one will be as spectacular as the original, if not more.
Well, here's a little Keeler travel advisory for people who are coming to New York City. If you take your kid to the FAO Schwartz place, tell them it's a museum.
Good idea.
Can't touch.
Right. Yeah. The gift shop is down the street. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a museum.
And can you just give a little plug for the another thing that Manaski should do with his kid when he goes to New York, and that is to see Santa at Macy's. It's one of the greatest experiences a kid can have.
It is, because Macy's is a bunch of good people. They put on July 4th fireworks. They put on the Thanksgiving Day parade. They have the spectacular Santa Claus. And I can't really believe that somebody says, well, they put on the parade, so I'm going to go to Macy's and buy something. They do it because they're good people, and it's unfortunate that they, too, are having some economic problems. But, no, that's definitely a must. That's a must. The train show in the Botanical Gardens is fantastic. I mean, I'm a nut over trains, but, I mean, it's just fantastic. So there's an awful lot of stuff. It sounds like I'm working for the Travel Bureau, but I am in a way. It's a great place to come and have a vacation, a weekend, or what have you, but a tough place to live.
One more quickie before we get done with you. What's going on with the buses? The story here about disabled and mobility impaired New Yorkers, how important buses are. What's that story?
Has anybody noticed that the population is getting older? You remember the good old days when everybody used to die at 30? So anyway, New York now has the largest percentage of people, New York City that is, largest percentage of people over 65. We are wall-to-wall with walkers and canes. And what's actually happening on the buses, which are all handicap equipped, you know, when the bus stops, the driver got to get out and do something with the seat and all that business. Well, they're stopping. They're not letting certain people get on because they already got two wheelchairs on the bus. So there's no more room. So that's a very big sign of the times. Another sign of the times, and I'm firmly convinced, though I don't have any real proof of it, I think they're extending the traffic lights in New York City. It seems to me, maybe I'm getting more impatient with age, but it seems to me when you're stopped at a red light,
you sit there
longer than it used to be.
Listen, there's no better tour. When you do come to New York, you do FAO Schwartz, you do Macy's, you do the Statue of Liberty, and Peter Franklin's tour, which will take you to places you probably don't even know exist in New York. Go to Gabby.com for details. Peter, have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and thanks so much for coming on.
Bye-bye.
All right, there he goes, Peter Franklin, the Gabby Cabby. Free money question of the day is coming up next hour, WIBX. The 34th annual Run for Hunger is coming up, and in studio right now is Wayne Murphy from the Utica Roadrunners. Do we do this every year? I think we do.
We do this every year.
Welcome back.
Well, thank you.
And there are
good morning.
a few other events through the year that we'll have you back for, but this is always a big one. And explain how this works. It is Thanksgiving Day.
It is Thanksgiving morning.
And
so
it's going to be cold.
It's going to be very cold. So sandwiched in between these 30-degree days, we've got one that's single digits.
Yeah, isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Because it's going to warm right back up.
It is
Yeah.
on Friday.
I think they're talking about this could be record low temperatures for a Thanksgiving, or at the very least the 22nd of November.
That's correct. And so Thanksgiving is early this year. So
You'd think it would be warmer.
You would think it would be warmer.
Not the case. Okay, so explain how this works and what you guys do, and there's some benefits in there for people as well.
Sure, absolutely. So we have registration from 8 to 8:45 there at the Parkway at the Rec Center, downstairs from the ski chalet and the gymnasium there. We'll start off a run at 9 a.m. We got a 5K and a 2-mile run. We do ask that people bring a donation with some money. So $7 a person or $20 a family, and all that goes to a local charity, so we never keep any of that money.
Nice.
As a matter of fact, every year we raise about $5,000 from this particular run. So
wow. And it's also, there is I don't know, because my run is usually to my mailbox and back, and then I realize, there's no mail today. But you do feel better when you're sitting down and overeating.
Absolutely.
After you've had a nice run on Thanksgiving morning, right?
Absolutely.
Makes you feel a lot better. Okay, so there are door prizes for everybody.
There are
too.
door
There's a whole bunch
prizes
of
for
stuff.
everyone. I want to mention, too, to bring a couple non-perishable items because we donate to the local food bank. So we actually give about a ton of food every year from this, too, as well. So helps to stock up the local food bank.
And one thing about the running in the cold, too, really quickly, if somebody's going to run and, hey, I'll run on Thanksgiving, but they've never run in single-digit temperatures, what's that like?
Right, so we want to make sure you dress appropriately for that. Make sure you cover all your skin if you need to. And I've run in temperatures similar to that. And I think a couple of years ago at the Heart Run, we had a very cold day. And I ran about 13 miles that particular day. So dress in layers, make sure that you feel comfortable. And
a lot of like hoods and scarves and mittens and stuff.
Absolutely.
You can. I'm not saying it's going to be that cold that you can damage your lungs, but running in the cold can damage your lungs. Am I correct about that? Or no?
You want to be careful. Number one, because the air is a little bit drier. It's going to be colder, and you want to make sure you're comfortable, right? Whenever you're running in, whatever temperature you're running in, whether it's hot or cold. Again, you can wear a scarf and wear something to cover your face.
Hydrating will help with that.
We will be, based on what they're saying, I mean, it will be at around 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock. It's going to be probably still single digits.
Right. Looks like 8 or 9 degrees. I keep checking my phone every 5 or 10 minutes.
Well, that's cold. It is cold to run in.
It is.
But you'll warm up pretty quick.
Yes, you will.
How far is the run?
So 5K is about 3 miles, or there's a 2 mile. And again, we encourage anyone to do whatever they feel comfortable with on that day. You
Sure.
Run 3 miles.
And registration is day only. Is Thursday. It's where you register. Right over at the gymnasium on the Parkway Gym.
That's
right?
correct.
So do it. $7 a person, $20 for families, plus 2 non-perishable food items. And you raise a lot of food. It's a great event. It'll make you feel so much better about yourself.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right, Wayne. Thank you, man.
Thank you very
always.
much. I appreciate it.
Hold on. We'll come back. I want to get into the latest numbers in the 22nd Congressional District and what you can expect to come today. There will be, this could very well be a very big day for the race for NY22. We'll do it when we come back at WIBX. NY22, the race continues. And today, here's what you can expect today. I had word yesterday that Oneida County thought they might be able to be done by the end of the day. And clearly that was either way wrong or they way underestimated. But from what we understand, they completed Rome, and they have other towns within the county to take care of. They hope to be done, they're saying now before Thanksgiving, but it could be not until next week. So they're really not raising expectations here. So I don't know what's going to happen. However, Shenango is the other lone county out there. That's about 1,153 ballots that they had returned. That number I do not believe includes military. There could be a few more in there because of military, which yesterday was the deadline for military ballots to arrive. They had to be postmarked by the 5th, but they give military ballots a little longer. So they had to arrive by yesterday. That could add to the count just a little bit, but Shenango is expected to release their results today. 1,153 ballots are expected to be released. That means outstanding right now, after Tioga yesterday came in, is 5,525 ballots still remain to be counted. That does not include military. Brindisi's lead currently is 3,210 votes because yesterday Tioga came in and Claudia Tenney, if we're comparing the count, Claudia Tenney won more absentee ballots than Brindisi did. The total net gain for Tenney yesterday was 13 votes. So if you take away that 13 from Brindisi's lead, that brings us to 3,210 votes. That is his lead. Still to come is Oneida County and Shenango. Anything I missed?
I don't think so.
I couldn't have done it better myself.
You couldn't have done it that well. I'm just telling you right now.
At all.
You couldn't have. I always wanted to say that to somebody when they said that. No, you couldn't. You really couldn't.
You're welcome.
Jeff standing by on the line in regards to the 22nd recount. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning.
Hey, Bill. Yeah, I just got a quick question. Can we maybe postpone Thanksgiving until after the recount is done? I mean, that way we can get rid of all the drama, you know, and we can sit and enjoy our food, you know, turkey, stuffing, gravy. At the Jim Zecca household, some crow.
Well, listen, I do believe that there will be certain households that if it's not official, they will be a little antsy, right? They're going to feel uncomfortable. I imagine everybody would like this to be over before Thanksgiving.
How does Jim prepare crow exactly? I mean, I know he's had to have it before, so I wasn't sure.
You're going after Jim Zecca here, aren't you?
No, Jim's a great guy. I love Jim. It's just, you know, he's one of those guys you love to rip on him because he loves to rip back. So I just got to throw a couple of slings in there at him.
Fair
Jim,
enough.
I love you. I know you're listening. I know you're calling in. Just so I love you.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. And you have a happy Thanksgiving, even if the results aren't in, okay? There he goes.
Two things. One, I reached out to our pal there, who's involved in the recount, I believe, and that's Jim Zecca, of course. And he said he's not ready to come on just yet, so maybe tomorrow.
He is. Jim is a part of the counting. I believe he's on the Brindisi side because each campaign gets to have representatives there as the votes are being counted. At least on some of the TV photos that I've seen. The videos, Jim's there.
He's always there.
Side. No, I'm sorry, on the Tenney side. Did I say Brindisi?
Brindisi side, I'm like.
Sorry about that.
I think he's just looking over the shoulder to make sure no one's cheating. If he's on that side.
It's exactly. He's certainly on the Tenney side.
Sure.
And he continues to say, oh, these affidavit ballots, there's problems with the ballots. Jim, you'd have to have a lot of problems in order to make up 3,000 votes. Now, if there was some gigantic landslide with Shenango today and with Oneida County ultimately that goes in favor of Claudia Tenney and it brings it way down to the point where it's way close, I guess there could be a question. But again, 3,000 votes. I want to go through just what has happened. So I'm only talking gain. I'm not talking about the number of absentee ballots, just the net gain. So after they're done counting absentee ballots, no matter who wins the county, all we care about is the gain, the net gain or loss between Brindisi and Tenney. So right now, Brindisi has a lead of 3,210 votes. So how we get to that point is we took his lead from election night, which actually was revised by the next day when they found some additional votes in, I believe, Broome County. Some additional votes went to Claudia Tenney. It was, what was it, 3,000, or it was like 1,293, I believe, was the lead that
1,273 something
that Brindisi had. As they began to bring in the absentee numbers, we come to this. So here's how we get there. Broome, in favor of Brindisi, he gained 1,319 votes. That turns out to be his biggest, both on election night and with absentees. He got mega support from Broome County, Binghamton area, big-time support. So 1,319 votes added. So if you took that 1,293 and you added that, you want to add these up? So take the 1,293.
I'm adding.
Add 1,319 votes. That is to his lead. That brings us to what?
2607?
Yeah, 2607.
Okay, you were doing it with a calculator. You got it wrong. He got it right in his head.
Yeah.
Okay.
I missed the second number.
It's 2612, I think.
2612. So keep that, please, and put that in
I've
your
got
calculator.
it now. I've got
Shenango is still to come. Cortland County. Brindisi got more absentee votes in Cortland County, a net gain of 207 votes. Brings us to
28-19.
Okay. Then comes Herkimer County, a county that Claudia Tenney won significantly by about 2,000 votes. That's why this county, I believe, is extremely important. That's where Claudia had to make up votes. You would have needed to make up a lot of votes, and it turned out Brindisi had a net gain of 80 votes in Herkimer County. That's big. It's not the votes he gained; it's the votes that she didn't gain. Then you come to Madison County. Brindisi won Madison County. That's another one that Brindisi had lost, but it was very close. It was kind of slightly close. But Brindisi had lost that, and again, he won the absentee ballot count, plus 324. That brings us to where?
Like 32-10.
I always love the word "like" when dealing
well,
with
because
when
you said 207, I had to clear it out.
Oswego had 80 votes to Tenney. So Tenney won Oswego. I'm saying, please keep in mind when I say she won Oswego, it means she just won the absentee count. She did win Oswego. And Tioga, she gains 13 votes in Tioga. That's how we get to the point where we're 3,210 votes. That is the vote lead by Anthony Brindisi. Does any of this make sense? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
You're rolling your eyes saying, I don't think it makes any sense at all.
No, I think it does make sense. I'm rolling my eyes because I think it's game over. I do think it's game over.
I don't know how she can. I mean, you're talking about 5,525 votes remaining. And where it gets tricky, you say, well, 5,000, he's only up by 3210. But she would have to win by more than 80% of those votes.
Yeah. She would need more than 4,000
It would be
of
a
those
shellacking.
Yeah. 4-1 she would need.
Because remember, anytime any vote she doesn't get, he gets. That's where it becomes difficult. So it is virtually, at this point, virtually impossible. However, officially, it's still too close to call. Officially. But we might know more after today. 1,500 or 1,153 ballots are going to be counted and completed and announced, we're told, in Shenango County today. It'll be very interesting to see how those numbers roll out later on today from Shenango. It looks like what happened. Our fourth caller had to be let go. Why?
Yeah, because he's already won in the 30-day rule.
Okay, so I hate that rule. Why can't they just win over and over again? I just don't get it.
I mean, it's not an easy contest.
I'll take caller number one right now, 315-736-0186. Caller number one right now, the first caller through. You're in, and I'll play this contest and give you a chance to win Hobica's money. And please, Lord, let me give Hobica's money away. Caller number one right now, 315-736-0186. I've got to wait for the delay to kick in. Everything's delayed. Slows me down.
We did have a winner yesterday.
Hi, good morning. What's your name?
Larry.
Hi, Larry. You ready to go? Here's your question.
Go ahead. Larry, turn your TV down.
Turn your radio or TV
down.
Just
a second, please.
All right, thank you. I love hearing myself over again. Hi, Larry. You ready to go?
Hi, Larry.
Here I am. I am.
Okay. Good morning. Where are you from, Larry?
Larry in Remsen.
I'm coming to you, and I'm going to help you get that buzz out of your phone.
Thank you.
I'll be there right after 9 o'clock. Okay,
here we go. Blow the lines.
Here we go. We're going to blow the lines out. Here we go. Here's your question. You'll have 7 seconds to answer this. Roland Macy started the Macy's department store in what year? Ready? Go. This is a tough one. What year?
1895?
You might want to go. Did you say 1895? That's a really good guess. The actual answer is 1858. So pretty darn good answer. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do because I feel so generous this morning. I'm going to give you a bottle of the It's a Utica Thing Riggy sauce, which is available at Chenantries. Charlie's Pizza, put it on the turkey. That's a great idea.
I love that idea.
I'm going to try that.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to try that on Thursday. The other thing, if you'd like, I'll give you a pair of tickets to see Dennis Miller and Mark Stein and their comedy show involving some politics. The legendary Dennis Miller at the On Center in Syracuse. A pair of tickets if you'd like them. Davey's going to hook you up, okay?
Very good.
Not bad for losing.
Thank you.
Pretty good. All right, sit tight, and Davey will take care of you. All right, we were talking about the NY22 just a moment ago.
Yes.
We have a few pipe-ins.
Yes, piping in. We have City Comptroller Bill Morehouse pointing out something here, which is correct. What's really interesting is if Anthony would have been behind by the 1293 on election night, Claudia would have won on election night. but based on the absentees, Brindisi would have overcome that number and won the election. That would have been crazy.
A Dewey moment. Not
Jim
really,
Zecca
but-
says.
So Jim Zecca, I believe, is a part of the representation team for Claudia Tenney at the Oneida County Board of Elections.
He's in the room, yes. Okay, he says, this process is slower than pouring molasses. I don't see it going to get done and finalized until maybe Friday. They only did Utica and Rome and just started all the other towns late yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, I believe he's, he would know, right? I
And he
believe
said,
that's what we're hearing.
I don't usually large affidavit and absentee ballots that need to be reviewed or counted. I don't know
All right,
what he means
I want to
there.
bring it. Jordan Karp used to be with the Board of Elections and has been with the Brindisi campaign and is also in the room right now representing Anthony Brindisi at the Board of Elections. Jordan Karp on the count. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. So give us a little bit of insight from within the room, if you could.
Sure. Well, I'm actually in my car, so
Okay.
I'm not counting anything.
All right, good. Good.
But-
Count stoplights or something. Yeah.
So, by the way, this is a normal process. This happens after every election, whether it's close or not. I think that's the first thing that people should know. It's not a recount; it's a recanvass, and this does happen after every election. So, I will say that the reason it's going a little bit slower is there's review of the affidavit ballots and the absentees by both sides, the Tenney campaign and the Brindisi campaign, and there are challenges to ballots, and those are getting put in a box to be argued in court or counted later if they're not thrown out in court. So that's slowing up the process a bit. So
How many-
Oneida County being the biggest county, it is a little slow going.
How many of those are there?
Of the challenge ballots?
Yeah.
There's at this point there's got to be hundreds.
Okay. All right.
So and also let me just say that the military ballots that have been received are part of that count that you're recanting, right? So there's not a pool of military ballots that get counted separately. So if the military ballots have been received, they're part of the recanvass process.
Okay.
So it's not like he's got a 1,310 vote official lead, and there's a pool of hundreds of military ballots.
So the
if
numbers
they've been received, they're counted.
The
yeah.
numbers that I have, which are a little over 5,000 remaining votes to be counted between Oneida County and Shenango, that number would include the number of military ballots that have come in as of yesterday.
Correct.
Okay. All right. That's big. Because at this point we kind of didn't know how many military ballots were out there.
Yeah, and obviously Shenango is in the middle or towards the end of their count, and then Oneida County has done Utica and Rome and part of New Hartford so far, and that's over half the county, right? So between Utica, Rome, and New Hartford, that's well more than half of the county, and obviously the Oneida County Board hasn't released any numbers, but just from being there for a few days, I think that it's fair to say that Anthony's increased his lead just based on anecdotal kind of being there and seeing how Utica and Rome shook out.
Okay, well that is certainly big, because in order for Claudia Tenney to turn this around, she has to have like an enormous victory in a county like Oneida. Herkimer was very interesting, and actually Madison was too. These, and I'd like your take on this. Obviously, you worked with the Brindisi campaign, so you're going to have more of a Brindisi take. But the fact that the Claudia Tenney on election night won Herkimer County, but when the votes were counted, absentee votes were counted, Anthony Brindisi had a net gain in Herkimer County, had a net gain in Madison County. That's pretty big, right?
So two things. One is the campaign targeted folks we know were voting absentee and paid special attention to them earlier than Election Day. And then just looking at the partisan registration of the absentees, for the district as a whole is 32% registered Democrat. The absentees are as a whole in the congressional district were 40% registered Democrats. The district as a whole is 43% registered Republican. The absentees only came back 42% registered Republican. So, it's not hard to see why, even in counties where, in the machine vote on Election Day, the Brindisi campaign didn't win, why we picked up votes in the absentees. It's not hard to do with that arithmetic and figure out why.
Well, doesn't it, as a political guy, and this is not new for you, it's got to make you feel that there's a bit of normalcy back in the game. And what I mean by that is it seems like the Brindisi campaign just took an old-fashioned, you work the ground, you work the absentees, you get the vote out. That's as classic of a campaign as we've seen in an era where we thought everything was just turned upside down.
Yeah, I think it's 300,000 door knocks and a couple million phone calls. I think everybody wants to look to Facebook or Twitter or Instagram for how to organize folks, and the hardest way but the most effective way to do it is organize volunteers and knock on doors and make phone calls. It's kind of back to the future in a way, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, it gives you hope that there's normalcy returning to the campaigns, at least around here anyway. So Jim Zecca has tweeted in this morning and saying that he doesn't see this to be done until at the very earliest on Friday. Do you, in Oneida County, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that assessment. I don't think they're going to get through 26 towns in the next day and a half, especially because the process is just slowed down with challenges and things like that. So, and any numbers that the county would release before Thanksgiving would be unofficial anyway because of again the challenge ballots that would have to be argued in court to get thrown out completely, and that process is going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Okay, do you feel that that court challenge would be enough? There are enough votes in there that could actually turn the election?
No.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so for the Brindisi family and the Tenney family, Thanksgiving is going to be a nail biter.
Sure.
That's what it is. Although it is true that Brindisi on Friday, the campaign, did declare victory once again, and you guys are pretty confident because it would take a miracle. It would really take quite a miraculous showing out of Claudia Tenney to be able to turn this thing around.
Yeah, I mean, to give you perspective, I think she, at that point, would have needed 78% of the remaining votes to win. I don't think she's won any election district in Oneida County with 78% of the vote. So that would be a dramatic turn of events that statistics would tell you are nearly impossible.
Okay, Jordan Karp, we appreciate it. Thanks so much for the information.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great holiday, too.
So,
Thanks.
You too.
Do you want to add to?
No, I just was going to say,
Jordan.
I think I can understand why people don't want. You never want to be the candidate who raises his hand in victory and then come to find out you actually didn't win.
Right.
But, I mean, the writing's on the wall.
Well,
we have a new congressman.
On Friday, I think it's pretty clear. And on Friday, they came out and waved the victory flag once again in a press release. And that's Friday. And there's a couple of counties that have come in since then, and it's only it hasn't moved but by 13 votes when you think about it. And what comes out of Shenango, I'm also hearing from someone down there that the unofficial tally right now, even though they're not complete, is that Brindisi's in the lead in Shenango right now. So if that were to come back where again, what Tenney's campaign would need here is for it to come back with an overwhelming, that she gets 1,000 of the 1,100 votes. And a draw or anything close to a draw is a huge victory for Brindisi from here on out. I just need the hook, and it's just not coming in the way I want it to. Thank you, Ed.
I feel like Judge Mills Lane.
You're ready to call. You're saying mathematically this is impossible.
I'm not saying, but boy, it would have to be. She would have to be taken 9 out of 10 almost.
Yeah,
9 out of 10 just to bring it back to even.
And moments ago, you said we have a new congressman.
I did say that. Yeah.
So maybe the nails won't be all that bitten at the Brindisi table after
That's
all?
what I'm saying. I think there'll be what is it when you do like a what do they call it? Salute? You do like a clank of the glasses,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of that going on. I don't think anybody would be gnawing on their nails.
Listen, this is unacceptable behavior, but if you've ever been towed, you know the feeling. Has your vehicle ever been towed and you got there to try to stop it and the tow guy would not stop? He still was towing your vehicle.
Yeah,
you ever been there?
Supposedly his line is, "I have a job to do."
Yeah, that is the line.
Or the line is, you give me $150 now, we won't have to worry about getting it to the garage.
I've had that.
I've heard that.
I've had that happen. Yeah. I had my vehicle towed in Pittsburgh. I was at a Mets game in Pittsburgh. Towed the vehicle, and it was brutal getting it out. And that was at a time where these repo places, none of them accepted credit cards. You had to have cash. And guess what I didn't have?
Cash.
Yeah, it was terrible. Anyway, I did not react this way. A woman in Chattanooga, Tennessee, tried to stop a guy from towing her car, and she did it by smashing out his tow truck with a baseball bat.
Okay.
They were repossessing it for non-payment. Oh, sorry.
It's over.
Now the
Yes.
hook comes in.
That's what
Now it comes in. It's over for you, lady.
That's what the
And
guy
your
was saying.
windshield. It's over.
It's over. Sorry. Here's her clip. If I can get it to play, here it is after all.
Oh.
Put my car down.
Okay.
Get it off of my car, dude. Get it off. Get it off of my car. Come
Is he abiding by what she says?
I would. I'd be
She's
like,
got a baseball bat.
This job isn't worth it. Here, take
I'm
your
sorry.
car back.
This lady is an idiot.
Oh, you think?
She's going to jail.
She's also going to
She
go
should
to
be
jail.
going to jail, yes.
Yeah, she'll be arrested. I think she was arrested for that. And she'll have to
What
pay
an
for the
idiot.
vehicle to be fixed and all of that stuff.
And she
It's
still
just
loses
terrible.
her vehicle.
And she still
Still
loses her vehicle, yes. So what was going to cost her a lot of money has cost her a lot of money.
Yes, I believe in plain terms, this is making matters worse.
Yeah. That was either a woman hitting the hitting a vehicle in Chattanooga or Claudia Tenney smashing in the voting machine. I'm not sure which. It's one or the other.
Boy.
Got a break here. Mighty John, the record guy, is the greatest expert in the country, in our opinion, when it comes to vinyl and the value of records. Who knows, in your attic or basement, you might have some real value. John, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Bill, great to be with you.
So it's Thanksgiving, and what do you have 12 records, right? 12 that we should be thankful for.
Well, actually, I have 10.
Okay, 10. Let's start that over. I'm going to start over.
12 is
I'm sure there's
Christmas.
12 we could be
12 days
thankful
of
for.
Christmas.
I don't know how I got to 12, but so you have
I put
10.
it on the sheet.
You have 10. Right.
I can make up another 2 anytime. Yeah, every Thanksgiving we come up with a list of 10
Yes.
records to be thankful for, and we have a new list this year. And if you have any of these, you'll really have a great Thanksgiving. So we'll start with number 10.
I'm ready.
Count down to number 1. Number 10, look for Jimi Hendrix's album, Are You Experienced? The value is for the mono copy up to $1,000.
So can we just talk about that just for a moment, the
Sure.
mono versus the stereo copies? Back in the 60s, there was a lot of that went on. Some were mono, some were stereo, and some there were, like in this case, there were stereo and mono versions.
Right. In the beginning of the 60s, mostly everything was in mono. By the end of the 60s, mostly everything was in stereo. But in the mid-60s, they didn't know what to do, so they came out with versions in both. And it all depends how many were released in each version as to how much the value is. And less mono copies for Are You Experienced, and so the value is higher at $1,000.
Got it. Okay, fair enough. All right, number 9.
Very first 45 for Rush, and it was called Not Fade Away. It is worth up to $1,000. Bob Dylan, 45, Blowing in the Wind, with its picture sleeve up to $1,500. The little picture sleeves of the 45s are always worth more than the record itself, so they're very important. Hope you kept them. Carl Perkins, best known for blue suede shoes. First 45 he ever put out, though, was called Movie Mag. He wrote it for his girlfriend Maggie about taking her to the movies. It is worth up to $1,500.
Now, was that a pop hit or because he had done
That was a regional hit?
A
Yeah,
regional, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Beatles, always collectible. Look for the album The Savage Young Beatles. If you have a copy, the color of the cover makes all the difference. If the cover is yellow, it's up to $100. But if the cover is orange for the Savage Young Beatles, then you're up to $1,500. The Byrds, 45. The times they are a-changin'. With its picture sleeve up to $2,500. Righteous Brothers, You've Lost That Lovin' Feeling, 45. Now, if you have a copy and the vinyl is green as opposed to black, then you're up to $3,000.
Wow.
David Bowie, the very first 45 he ever released in the U.S. was called Can't Help Thinking About Me. It is up to $3,000. $8,000. Rolling Stones, one of their early albums, 12 by 12. Now, if you have a black vinyl copy, it's worth up to about $150, which is not bad. But if you have a blue vinyl copy where the record is blue, you're up to $8,000. And number one, there's a category we don't talk about very much, pre-war blues. Blues 78s that came out prior to World War II. We find them mostly at estate sales. Extremely collectible. This time, guy's name is Skip James. 2220 blues, currently up to $10,000.
Wow. Now,
and they're out there.
Would that be something that would be a little more regional? Would you be more likely to find it in a certain part of the country, or was that a national release?
Well, I don't think so, but there are just a ton of blues records from that period that are worth that kind of money. And one of the great indicators is generally it'll have the word blues somewhere in the title on the record. So
okay.
If you see any old 78 with blues, you probably want to pick it up.
Okay, no matter what, just look for that, and that's a biggie.
Yeah.
The last time I think we had you on, we talked about you're looking at the value of promotional records for the first time. And those are the records that radio stations got. Oftentimes they'd have a hole drilled into them. And whenever we go out and do, a remote somewhere, a broadcast somewhere out on location, we'd always bring records along and we would give them away. Now you're saying there's a value to those these days.
If they have those magic words, not for sale, a promotional copy printed on the label, then yes, they can be worth a lot more than a regular commercial copy. One I found last summer was Deja Vu by Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. The copy sold in stores worth up to about $10 to $15, but the promo copy up to $1,000.
Wow.
So they're out there, and we have a special record guide just on promotional copies to let you know exactly what to look for. As a matter of fact, if you go on our website, moneymusic.com, we post all of Bob Dylan's promo copies, so you can see all of them for free.
I have to tell you, I just saw Bob Dylan. Just saw him the other night, and he has slowed down greatly. But one of the beauties of Dylan is he doesn't care. He doesn't care that you want to hear certain songs. He doesn't care that you like to hear the songs as they were. He completely reinvented like a Rolling Stone. He reinvented all of his songs, as a matter of fact. I don't think he spoke once to the audience. That's Bob Dylan, right?
God bless them. Keep on going.
And they keep on coming. They keep buying tickets, and it seems to work for him. So pretty wild.
And he has the most valuable album, probably, the Freewheelin' Bob Dylan. If you have a copy and audit the song "Talking John Birch Blues," it's up to $18,000 to $20,000.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Moneymusic.com is the website. And nobody does it better than Mighty John, the record guy. John, thanks so much. We'll talk to you near Christmas time. We'll do the top 10 most valuable Christmas records. I'm looking forward to that. Top 12. That's where the 12 came in.
See, 12 days of Christmas.
I knew it came in somewhere. All right, John, thanks so much.
Take care.
All right. Have a great Thanksgiving, by the way. It's 8:19. Hold on tight. We're coming right back. Can you sell your house in the wintertime? Should you sell your house in the wintertime? These are two interesting questions. Bill and Robin Monjo from River Hills Properties coming in next here on WIBX. There was a movie being filmed just yesterday, and the film czar, Paul Buckley, is standing by to give us an update. Good morning, Paul Buckley. Good morning.
Good morning, William. How are you?
First of all, how's your beard?
It's coming along nicely. It's got summer here, summer there, that kind of stuff. And I ran into Tim Reed the other day, and we were both comparing. So I think we're like on the same course. I look like Gabby Hayes.
Can you explain why you're growing a beard here in November?
Well, because it's No Shave November, and my best friend there, Timothy Reed, announced that he came. He had the prostate cancer. So I thought, well, because I love Timmy so much, I thought, well, it's the least I can do. And I haven't had a beard since I lived in Lake Placid back in 1980. My family has never seen me with a beard, and they're having a great. They're suffering from PTSD.
Yeah, a little Colonel Sanders going on there.
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah. Well, everybody's doing that. Jason, what's his name now? All those people are doing Colonel Sanders now. So why not myself?
Sure, you can do it.
So, Buck, I actually am growing the beard as well for Tim Reed, but somebody called us. The reason we found out about this, they said Ray Liotta standing in downtown Utica screaming at traffic. What the heck is going on? And we said we think Buckley's down there shooting a movie.
I don't see the resemblance at all to Ray Liotta. I'm much better looking than Ray.
I agree with you. I agree.
You're not nearly as weathered. Well, maybe.
I know.
Maybe
I'm
close.
not. He's had a tough life, and I've been pampered all mine.
All right, so let's talk about the movie that is being shot. This one could be pretty big, right?
It's huge. It's probably the biggest one we've had here in town in a long time, ever, I'd say. And it's incredible. I called the producers yesterday. They're being very close-lipped about this. They don't want any media. They chase the TV stations away. And I saw the thing in the paper today. They managed to get some shots from afar. But they're being very close-lipped about it. They don't want to release anything. So I called up the producer and I said, throw me a bone here. So he said, yeah, we'll do something next week. So they're here for a while. They're using a lot of the Utica properties, and and I'm sworn to secrecy on who's in the movie, but I think it's already out there. Rumors are abounding, and so it's just great. I mean, the people, I had calls from people yesterday on Hotel Street saying if these people are cold, they can come into my place and get warm. Come on in for some coffee, that kind of stuff. And even Utica Coffee, Heather Delia, she sent some coffee up there. So it's all wonderful. And I told Heather, I said, get your Utica Coffee up there. Maybe it's product placement and a shot. It means everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love that Hotel Street.
Yeah.
That's the one where it's very narrow, right? And there's the brick buildings.
And then right behind it, you got Bouchard Alley, which is like you just can't get stuff like that. It's unbelievable.
All right, what rumors?
Yeah, I haven't heard any rumors, Paul.
What rumors?
Is it this Adrian? What's his name? Adrian Brody. He was in one of this guy's movies.
Well, I can't say yes, and I can't say no, and I can't say maybe.
Because he's kind of local, right?
I believe he has a castle, believe it or not, out in
Sylvan Beach.
Sylvan Beach area.
Yeah.
And what's funny about that is my brother Stephen was working down in New Zealand with Peter Jackson doing the King Kong movie, and my baby brother had a cameo shot with Adrian Brody in the cab. He's the cab driver. When Brody gets in the cab, he says, "Follow that cab."
Get out of here! I didn't know
that. My baby brother, it's all yours, buddy. And jumps out. It's like a 3-second thing.
Yeah, but it's cool. What people don't know and might not remember is your brother does incredible special effects work on. You see a big movie, there's a good chance that your brother's in the credits.
He's working exclusively now for Marvel.
Yeah,
and it seems like every Marvel. It seems like every Marvel comic book is being made because, as I said, they're always hurting for scripts. I love to see original movies. I hate to see these remakes over and over and over again. I think it's so old.
I can tell you a little something about Paul Buckley's Thanksgiving. All you keep hearing Paul yell during the entire dinner is, "Throw me a bone! Throw me a bone!"
With something on it.
All right, so you can't tell us anything.
Well, listen, I'll tell you what, this is the first time I've interrupted a River Hills commercial. Usually it's the other way around.
That is true. You are right. So,
I appreciate you calling. And listen, there should be some more casting calls coming up in the future, so I'll come down and announce at your place, and we'll be in the paper, all kinds of stuff.
All right, very
nice.
Hey,
Bill, can I just really quick, a very important thing. I was talking with somebody high up on the selection committee for the Grand Marshal of the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Here we go.
And in order to get this done for Buck, which is very serious business, several people have to write letters. So I think we should just inundate
Start
the office
a letter
with
campaign?
A letter campaign. Handwritten.
Do they have a cryptographer studying these requests? Because I can start sending my own in.
Actually, I believe as soon as the Board of Elections is done, they start counting these ballots. So we'll see what happens.
It'll go way past St. Patty's Day, that's for sure.
It could. All right, Paul. So
Love
people
you guys.
should send a letter. We'll put up on the website
We'll have all the details
what the address
shortly.
is and all that. We'll
Thank
definitely
you guys.
get
I love
that.
you guys.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
So pretty cool, Bill and Robin Moncho. There's a movie being made just around the corner from you guys.
Actually, it's touching us a little bit because a building that Robin has listed on Hotel Street, we have been called to put the movie company in touch with the owners of that building.
Okay, really nice.
I didn't know anything about this. I thought I was being punked. So I get
You
a
never
call.
know.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't know. So I got a call from this lady. So I drilled her for a little bit. But yeah.
So, and when we say this is the reason it's being so tight-lipped is this is a real Hollywood production, and there'll be some names in town.
Absolutely,
we don't know who, and I love how Paul says, "Oh, the rumors are already out there." Well, I feel it's completely excluded here.
Mm-hmm.
I have no clue.
He's the rumor czar, off air.
All right. The question is that I wanted to ask you guys is, and man, we've hit winter pretty quickly here, which does affect the homes and home sales and that sort of thing because there's just something about wintertime that people feel you can't sell a house at wintertime. What's the truth?
So the truth is you can. the example is we had 2 open houses last 2 Sundays, and we had 30, 40 people at each one. So the buyers are out there looking. We've had very low inventory this year anyway, but the one of the things here is there's no seasonality to the internet, right? It's full board. They don't know the difference, but the buyers.
The internet plays such a role today, where people are going to search for their.
It's huge.
Whether you're on Facebook or you're on Zillow or any of these any of these sites.
So the buyers are out there looking. That's not even the question, but it's changing the mindset of the sellers. We've been told for so many years, and we know that you've got to list your house in the spring, and the supply goes to it's huge in the spring. So if you list now, you don't have the competition. Other things that come into play here are the biggest investments we put in our house are normally like energy efficient things, right? New windows, new roofs, things like that. So probably the best time to highlight that would be the winter. Sure. Yeah. So another thing I like to bring up when we're giving presentations, is why put your life on hold? I mean, people are like, well, I want to get down to my grandchildren, but I'm going to wait another 8 months to list my house, and then I'm going to probably sell it. But time's a ticking. Put it up for sale. Don't put your life on hold, because they're out there.
It is a lot when you sell your house, especially if you continue to live in the home that you're selling, because there's inconvenience, right?
Sure,
I mean, you're but at the same time, to wait a completely another season.
No, there's no need to do that.
What about decorations for the holidays? If you're trying to sell your house, how much should you? Because they always tell you a little less is more, right? You don't want as many family pictures.
Clutter you got to get rid of. But I mean,
are you
live
saying
there.
that to me specifically?
I'm not directing that at you. I'm just.
I had a clutter-filled house. We were there for 18 years, for God's sakes. There was a lot of stuff.
No, people live there, so just declutter and make your house look presentable. But another easy thing for the sellers is this: so when you list in the spring and the summer, the house is pretty, but you're on your lawnmower 47 hours a week. You get a showing, you're out there mowing, you're out there gardening. So way easier in the wintertime because you got a blanket of snow. Just make your house look cozy, right? It's wonderful, and buyers tend to be more. They're more serious in the wintertime. If they're going to go out in 20, 30-degree weather, they want to see your house.
They want to see a house,
okay?
May I also just interject that most of the springtime buying here is for people that are kind of moving up or moving down in the size of their house. There are people looking for ranch houses, and there's people, their family have grown, and they want extra bedrooms. We still have, even though people like to say there's nothing happening here, we have people moving into this area all the time. Griffiths is doing a fabulous job. They're recruiting. New companies are coming there, and we are seeing people almost weekly that are coming into the area fresh, new time.
Yeah.
They're coming in the middle of the winter time. They're coming right now. We are seeing that. Both the houses that Robin had mentioned that we had all these people come to for open houses, both of them got offers the day after the open house. That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where, as you've said earlier, we're dead winter. These are people coming in for the first time looking, and the inventory is low. And so there's going to be less negotiations on the value of your house because there's less inventory and there's less choices. So you're going to do very, very well if you have to list your home during the winter.
I have to tell you, when we were looking, the inventory was even low then. It was very difficult to find of course, my wife found exactly what she wanted, and there was... She made
it's
the
called
decision.
Expensive.
Yeah, good point. And then what comes after is expensive, it seems. But I do think that even then it was difficult. So we've gone through the entire selection of houses. So then we found ourselves going back to look at a house for the second time that we thought for sure we had no interest in. And it turns out the house we had zero interest in, we ended up, that's the house we bought. So you never know. And so if you were to put a house up now, you're in a better position just because the inventory is low.
We believe so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful time to do this thing, and the people are coming. And the other point I would like to make is, for Robin and I, and just specifically for River Hills, we have seen an absolute uptick in the valuation of the homes. That is something that we have not seen in the past 7 years. So people are actually getting more for their homes now than they would have last year. and we've basically been in a slide, but now we've seen the bottom, and we're starting to come back a little bit. Good news.
One last question. When you said during the break, you were saying about how there are signs and billboards. We're doing commercials here for businesses that are looking for employees. So there's a hunt for there are job openings. We always talk about unemployment. Well, if there's such unemployment, why are there so many open jobs? It seems that they can't fill these positions, but what you're saying is that in order to fill them, they got to bring people in. That is what will grow our area, right?
Absolutely, and we are seeing that. We talked about Tractor Supply Store. Tractor Supply Store is bringing in people. They are bringing people in from all over the country, as is pretty much everybody else. We got a call yesterday from people from Danfoss, people just coming to the area. Again, and Danfoss is a company that is accelerating their hiring right now, and that's really good tech jobs. But it's jobs across the board. It's not just you have to have a tech degree. Just apply online, and you'd be surprised.
I will tell you that we have, in the last year, I think this year, we've done, there's the welding jobs that... Metal Solutions, Fountainhead Group, looking for people. And some of these are, you don't need an education for it. Others, you need a trade or an education. So there's a lot of variety out there. But they're struggling filling these jobs. The only way you solve that is bringing people from out of town in town.
And they will. There's a void, and it gets filled by people coming in.
All right. Okay, pretty interesting. Hospital project seems to still be moving downtown, although extremely controversial. It'll change everything. For you guys have an office right down there in Franklin Square. It will change everything down there when that construction begins.
It will. It's absolutely going to be amazing, and I think everybody's going to be very happy with the end product.
All right. Bill and Robin Monjo, River Hills Properties, we appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having us. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family and to all your listeners.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you. We'll break and come back. 8:36 at WIBX. I want to go back to this marijuana thing in Massachusetts. Am I correct? Did you read the same thing I did? 1 ounce per person per day for private use.
Yes.
And that's a lot.
An ounce is a lot, yes.
What did Bill Morehouse say?
50 to 60 joints is his calculation.
Wow.
And he said you probably couldn't smoke an ounce in a day.
That's a lot of pot.
That is a lot
says
of pot.
Michael.
So I was recently in Massachusetts, and I was staying with my cousin, and I drove by one of the shops on the main road near her house, and it was, I forget the name of it, but it had some kind of psychedelic name, and I'm like, wait, and I asked her, I said,
Where's
right now
this?
they're
Where is
in
this again?
Natick, Massachusetts.
Okay, yeah.
They're only selling the CBD oil right now, which is, I guess, the legal form of it. It's pain reliever.
Well, I think all that begins soon. They've been doing regulation and doing all their.
But that's the thing. There's
stuff.
only, I think, 2 to 4 stores right now that are officially good to go today. But this person that owned this shop, she had talked to him, my cousin, and he said, I don't know if I'm going to get into because of the same issues they're dealing with. Some people are concerned in Colorado and California. It's still a federal law. So at any time.
You can't put your money in the bank.
Yeah. So at any
You
time, they can
cannot
come
put
right
your
in.
money in the bank because the feds will come in and take the money.
Yeah.
So they store their money in safes in their buildings. I mean, to me, that's dangerous. They got to do something to correct that problem.
Yeah. It's funny. Now marijuana is legal in Massachusetts, so they're selling the marijuana. They have it all over the place. You can't get in trouble if you have up to an ounce per day, yet we're hiding our money.
Yeah.
Right? The real green. Yeah.
Crazy. Well, that's a lot of pot.
Cops coming. Hide your money. Get the weed out. Hide the money.
Wow.
Look, officer, just weed, just weed.
In studio right now is Dan Falatico and
Falatico. Sorry,
Falatico. I apologize.
Mispronunciation.
Well, I apologize for that. Okay. And good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Bill. Good. How are you? Glad to be here.
Smells amazing in here now.
So you're the sausage guy.
Yeah, that's me.
And explain to me the recipes. And I'm assuming you have more than one recipe for sausage?
Yes. Well, I make a variety of sausages.
So there's Sicilian.
Sicilian sausage, which is with wine and cheese and other ingredients.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about Sicilian is people either go crazy over it or it's too rich for them or something.
Yeah.
You know? They're not used to. They're used to the Italian sausage.
I do like the Sicilian in making it in sauce because it adds additional flavors to the
Absolutely.
sauce.
And I'd never had it in the sauce for years, and then somebody told me that they were doing it.
Yeah.
So I tried it. It was fantastic.
It is good. It does. It adds a whole new flavor. So
yeah. Well, guess what? I brought you some sausage, including one package of Sicilian you guys are going to have to fight over.
We're going to fight over that. Yeah.
But I also brought you some sweet and medium and hot sausage,
Nice.
too.
I'm on I'm on this, you might not know, but I'm on this this no carbs diet. So, and there are carbs in sausage. It is the case, but it's still low. When I'm feeling like I want a snack, I throw sausage in and cook up sausage.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I prefer my sausage cooked very slowly and a long duration because it makes it almost melt in your mouth. That's just me.
There's a number of ways to cook it. My favorite happens to be on the grill.
Oh, yeah.
But it's great.
I like
baked
it
in the
crispy.
oven.
I like it crispy, and it sits with the onions and peppers, and then it gets crispy, but it sits in the oil, so there is still...
So tell us your story. What is your story and
Well-
how you got to this? And by the way, people can buy your sausage.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the first time in almost 20 years.
Okay,
But
let's start the whole story for those who don't know anything about you.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm Dan Filatico Jr., so all credit today goes to my dad.
Got it.
He started the company back in 1960. I was 5 years old, and from that point on, I fell in love with it. I remember as a little kid throwing the pork butts on the table for the boners, for the guys that were cutting the pork up, And I worked after school, weekends, summer vacation, winter vacation. I always loved it. And my father had a terrific business for many years. And then, and he was the number one sausage in Utica for years.
Mm-hmm. What business was that?
It was Dan Filatico Sausage Company. And we were in all the grocery stores, all the restaurants, and he was making 50 different meat products, bolognas, hams, hot dogs, everything.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he decided he wanted to go to Arizona, and he started a restaurant, deli, and bakery in Arizona. Then he went to California, and he started a restaurant in California. And then my grandparents got older and needed help, so he came back.
Yep.
And in 1981, we started F&F Importing Company with our cousins, John and George Finelli. And we did that for a number of years. And then my father went back into the restaurant business over on Oneida Street in Utica with Dan Filatico's Sausage and Pasta Specialty Shop, and that ran into the late 90s.
Wow.
Then he retired. And he kept on making it for family and friends, and sausage in the oil. You guys are probably familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I got a jar in the kitchen stand right now.
Yeah. So I do that also.
Cool.
And so I always loved it, and I always thought, I was in a career in financial services for many years. I retired 10 months ago, but I always in the back of my mind said, when I retire, I want to do this on a small basis.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be huge or anything, but I want to do it because everybody for years, and I've been making it for years, once my father got older and couldn't do it, and they said, Dan, you got to do this. You got the best sausage. You got to do it. And I'd say, well, I can't do it now. I've got this career going. Maybe when I retire. So I retired, and I was making it at Avico just for family and friends. And John Zampano is the owner of it, one of the owners, him and his brother Bobby. They said, why can't we sell it in the store? So I said, well, we have to be inspected. So we looked into it. We got all the inspection lined up. We created a beautiful little mini sausage factory for myself down there. It's immaculate, all brand new everything. I bought all the equipment I needed that I didn't have.
Nice.
And so it's only been a couple of weeks.
Wow.
Actually.
So you're able to make it in somewhat mass production now.
I'm making a few 100 pounds a week.
Okay.
My God.
I make it by hand.
Right.
This is all handmade.
Wow.
And... yeah.
So that's so interesting. It's got to be because there's an art to it, growing up with your father and doing it, and there's a real art to any kind of cooking, especially Italian cuisine. But it's kind of awesome that they've basically given you your workspace, your dream workspace to do this.
Yeah, it's really fantastic, and I really appreciate it, and I'm having so much fun because it's really doing better than I expected, frankly, because, I think you mentioned Facebook a few minutes ago. Facebook has been fantastic for me. I'm pretty well known in the area. I know a lot of people, and I've got a lot of friends on Facebook, and it's able to reach out to so many people, and it's been great.
And it is about the recipe. It's about and every family kind of has their different, and not everybody can make sausage. That's the I'm somebody who always tries to make different different foods and cuisine. I would not know the first thing about how to make sausage.
Well, there's a couple of things with sausage. Number one is sausage. My father says is an easy product to make.
Yeah.
You have pork and you got spices. But we choose to make it extra lean. When you eat our sausage, you're not getting any balls of hard fat. You're not going to get a lot of grease when you cook it. But you hit on the head. It's the formula, the spice. And my father tinkered with that for years.
Yeah.
And it's very flavorful. All of our sweet, medium, hot are very tasty. And
I'm excited.
You're going to have to try it.
So can you pass a plate over here? I'm going to
here's
grab
some sausage roll that my wife Elaine made.
What is this, all hot? What is this?
This is medium sausage. She made it last night, so it's still a little cold.
It's that time of year, sausage roll.
Yeah.
Right? It really is. So
can I ask, so if I saw this, if I was I'm walking down the hall, and you said, well, I'm selling sausage for the first time in 20 years. I look at this, I say, it's got a Vico on it. This isn't your sausage.
Yeah.
But I see it says Dan Filitico's Hot Rope Italian Sausage.
Are you from Rome?
No, I'm from Utica.
There's Filitico's in Rome. It drives me crazy.
Oh, so
I'm Filatico.
Filatico, okay. Dan Filatico,
Yeah.
Hot Rope Italian
Yeah.
Sausage.
Yeah.
Where are you? I actually grew up over by Broad Street.
I'm from East
Utica.
Utica. Yeah.
Yeah, on Bacon Street.
Yeah.
So where are you making these at?
I'm making it right at Avico.
Which is over on Broad, right?
On Broad Street, yeah. Like you said, we created this beautiful little mini sausage factory downstairs, and I'm selling it there under their label. And I thought it'd be a nice way to get started, rather than me spend a lot of money going into a place and having a lot of pressure because, like I said, I'm retired. I want to do this a couple of days a week. Maybe
Well, they already have the
no, now it's a business, but one day a month was a hobby.
Right.
2-3 days a week, believe me, the amount of hours I'm putting into it, I'm working.
and the beauty is that they have a distribution line.
Yeah.
And you could skip all of that. You just do what you do best. And
Well, it's all cash and carry, though, Bill.
Over there.
We don't sell it to restaurants or grocery stores.
Haven't I seen some of their stuff in
their
stuff,
but not
in,
the sausage.
The
sausage is strictly if people want it, they have to come in
go over there.
and
And
buy
by
it.
the way, that is an awesome place to go for cash and carry. Love that store. If you're having a party or something's coming up for big dinners, you go over there, and it's a cool place.
Well, I've had a lot of my
it.
friends go there for the first time, and they say, wow, I bought grated cheese, half of what I would get in the grocery store over here, and a lot of they have everything.
It's a cool place.
Yeah,
it really is. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I'm excited. I will be definitely frying up your sausage today. So
Great. Well,
pretty
thanks for the
excited about it.
opportunity to be here, and thanks to Mertz Melito, my buddy, for getting me in here to talk with you guys.
Well, I'm glad you came. And again, right over on it's Cash and Carry over on Broad Street. I'm sure you can follow you on Facebook and all of that.
Oh, absolutely.
How do they search for you? What do you
Dan
want?
Filatico Jr.
Okay.
That's Falatico.
Yep.
Can we just call you the sausage guy?
Yeah, that's fine. I used to be the TV guy when I was on Joe Kelly's show. I was on his show for a lot of times. Yeah.
Well, now you're the sausage
I'm
guy.
not the sausage guy.
Yeah, but you're still on TV, and it is what it is.
Oh, awesome.
All right, very cool. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And we'll break 8:54. We'll wrap it up here for Tuesday morning at WIBX. I got all of them done.
Did I really? You did.
That is a
We have
shocker.
nothing left. Nice job.
Usually what happens is we're at the end, it's like, oh, my God, I got to go down the hallway and tell them we missed 6 or 7. I do think that my wife always says that kids, today's the last day for some schools. Some, I guess, have to go tomorrow. But she says, as a teacher, it's always tough that day before vacation, although we're working tomorrow. But that couple of days before vacation, because the kids get all antsy, that's like what we are in the studio this week. It's been a little weird. We're miscommunicating from time to time here.
If I could just mention, thanks again to Dan Filatico for coming in, the sausage guy. Again, it's available at the Avico Cash and Carry on Broad Street. He said he does meatballs as well, and they go on sale today for the first time.
First time.
And I asked him if he does sausage patties. And he said that he does, but that's typically more of a summer thing. Throw them on the grill, it'd be great.
All right. Well, I'm going to be frying up some of his sausage today. I'm excited about that. Fits in with a keto diet. Hey, we have to go. We're back tomorrow. Kill Meat After News, which is next on WIBX.